Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. I heard you've got the love. You've got the love that's needed to do what you're called to do. It's inside of you. You've got the love. In the last reading, they were saying you've got the magic. Now it's you've got the love. And love really is magic, you know? But I'm also hearing that song, Baby, I've got the love. I don't know who sings that. I'll have to look it up because I like it. It's got a nice little vibe to it. Baby, I've got the love. But I'm hearing that. That's cool. You got the love. Ashe. Also, you've got the love they want. There's somebody who wants your love. Now, this is separate from what you are. Okay, you just are love, right? But there's somebody who sees that you are love, that you radiate love. And they're like, they admire it. Okay, I've been guided to start with hard truths, okay? This deck doesn't hold back, so I'm always like, But thank you, Spirit. What's the message? Oh, somebody's numb, okay? Somebody's numb. It says avoiding issues offers temporary relief but prevents healing. Addressing unresolved emotions to uncover real resolution and growth allows us to feel it and heal it. Okay. So who's numb, Spirit? Okay, so that's the question. Who's numb? Let's see. They did say to go then to the index cards here. So I would go to tarot, but let's see. Let's see. But somebody is feeling, somebody's avoiding an issue. This could be someone around you. This could be that person that came through already that admires your love. But there's something that they're numb about. I'm getting that there's something about their past that has numbed a part of themselves. Yes. So there's someone who admires your love. They see the love that you are, that you radiate. And it's like they want it, but there's something that they've been through that causes them to hold back because they're afraid of, I'm hearing, doing what they did before. 3, 2, 1 on the timer. They're afraid of, I'm hearing, degrading something, and it doesn't seem like they're feeling like they would degrade you as in like putting you down, but they don't want to ruin a good love. Yeah. This person has sort of become numb because of an experience that they had with someone else, but it's like they want to experience something with you because they know that it would be so divine. Like that's how they think of you. So divine. They're like, collective is so divine. I'm hearing luscious. Okay. That might be a word they use, luscious. I don't know. They might see you in that way or something about you as luscious. I never use that word, but it's coming through. Holistic healing. So that healing was mentioned on this numb card. Maybe this person is in need of some holistic healing because it's not necessarily, what I'm getting is that they might think that they need, and I'm not a doctor, okay? But they might be like, do I need to be on meds? Like, you know, an antidepressant or something like that. And that's for them to decide. That's between them, the divine, and their doctor. 444 on the timer. But it's like that's what they're going to in their mind when they're considering what kind of healing they need. But really what's coming through is that they need some holistic healing. So even if they were to go that route of taking antidepressants or some kind of medication or something, they would need to look at the whole self. So this person might be tempted to just pop a pill and think that everything's going to be okay, but really divine is guiding them to look at the whole self, because the pain that they have is not it's not what's causing the depression. It's causing a whole slew of things, you know what I'm saying? And it could have something to do with the depression. I don't want to exclude that, but in other words, it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than just depression. You see what I'm saying? I hope that's coming through clearly. We're going to keep clarifying though. Okay, 2 came out. Seeking to sabotage everyone they feel threatened by. So this person encountered someone that was trying to sabotage them. This could be someone who had an experience with a former lover that did a number on them, okay? It says keep it private for now, protection. So this person is keeping their feelings for you private. They're not sharing it with anybody. Uranus. So this person could have Aquarius energy, but also they're sort of a rebel. There's something that they're expected to do or a route that they're expected to take, but they're going a different route because they want to do what is best for them. This could be a person who was usually influenced by other people to take certain actions, but now they're ready to do what they want to do. This is a person who encountered someone that had a lot of manipulative tactics, used a lot of manipulation. 90-10 rule. This person is realizing that, and this is also something that they see within you. They see that you've been through a lot, but you've sort of adopted this way of living where you're like, okay, 10% is what happens to me. 90% of life is what I choose to do with that, or how I choose to react and respond. So this person observes you being very much willing to live your life, growing, loving, achieving, and not focusing on what's been done to you. But I'm getting that this person has seen you go through things where they're like, why haven't they given up? Because I certainly would have. And in fact, that's kind of how this person is now, because they've become numb. I'm getting that this person sees you going through the same thing. This person is going through the same thing that they've seen you go through, and they're numb. A lot of themselves, like the parts of themselves have become numb, but they see you being vibrant and they're just confused. They're like, what? Maybe this is somebody in your circle or someone that you know who has encountered some of the same beings that you have, and oh, okay, yeah, fake friends. So this could be somebody that you all both encountered the same fake friends, and they're embarrassed to be associated with them. Well, alrighty, Spirit. What's this one? It's on top. They're delulu. They refuse to understand that they're a non-factor in your life. So this could be someone who you both have experienced a narcissist, or a pair of narcissists, or... And maybe this person before was like, oh, they're not so bad. 9/11 on the timer, and now they're like, they're a whole damn emergency. They're a whole damn nightmare. Maybe you tried to warn this person. Okay, a similar energy came through in a previous reading. I remember that was the King of Swords. We'll see what comes through here. But I don't know. This feels a little different. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what comes through. Also, money. Attempting to attack energetically. This person could be interacting with, or they could have gone through an experience with a person who was motivated by money and who used energy to attack this person's finances. What does it say? I just want to keep pulling cards. Okay, and that one's dark, so I wanted to pull all the ones that were facing up. So didn't want them then and don't want them now. Didn't want them then and don't want them now. So there's somebody that you don't want. You didn't want them then and you don't want them now. I don't know who this is. It could be a narcissist, or it could be somebody who you both have encountered the same narcissist. I don't know. We'll see. Let's pull some tarot. Okay, this one's, yeah, got the right one. Okay. Divine, what's going on? Please clarify this situation. Oh, the Lovers. Okay, so I was detecting that. Some love energy here. Six of Wands. Okay. Seven of Cups. Three of Pentacles. Six of, oh, the Star. No, sorry, the High Priestess. And Six of Swords. And on the bottom, we got the Sun. Four of Wands. And the World. And Eight of Cups. Oh, wow. It feels like there's a lover situation here, that there was something positive with the Lovers and Six of Wands. Okay, so in some way, this Lovers connection, it brought about some positivity, a feeling of winning, of victory, okay? But then there's some, it's like a choice. Some choices or some illusions that were cast. With the Seven of Cups, it's like other options. Yeah, and that presented a different perspective, because I just saw 1212 on the timer. That's the Hanged Man. So somebody tried to present some different options here. And it's like, oh, whoa, what is this? There are different options now. There are different... With the Three of Pentacles, I usually don't see this as like anything regarding, like, Three of Cups can be third party type stuff, but it could be that this Three of Pentacles is here because these different options had to do with a community or something, maybe even within a work environment, or something that was motivated by money, where there was perhaps a third party presented. Somebody figured something out here and knew on a deep level that, I'm getting that they decided within themselves that they were willing to move on. Like, there's something about this third party vibe that they were just like, I'm going to move on. Somebody knew something was going on, or they knew that something wasn't right, or they knew that there were different options being presented. It was like too many options. Like, if we're supposed to be here in this lover situation, why are we here with Three of Pentacles? No, I'm moving on. Or the Three of Pentacles was here. And it feels like, because usually I see third party situations with the Three of Cups, but if it was within a work setting or a neighborhood setting, that could be why the Three of Pentacles was coming through. And also, it could be that the motivation was money or stability. And somebody was like, I'm good. I'm moving on. There's something that was exposed within a union with this Sun card and the Four of Wands. And the cycle is closed. Somebody's moving on with the World and Eight of Cups. Divine, please clarify this Three of Pentacles. I want to see more about that, because it feels like something that was supposed to be seen as innocent, or that was being done with a different purpose, but it actually was being done to be slick. But it was like, I'm just trying to be nice, or I'm just trying to, you know, promote stability in the neighborhood or in this work environment. But really they're coming in to tempt someone out of a relationship into a different relationship or something like that. Please clarify this Three of Pentacles, Divine. What's going on with this Three of Pentacles? Spilled tea, secrets exposed, gossip spreading, leaked information. Oops, it's out. Yeah. Three of Pentacles. Lessons learned, wisdom gained, completing cycles, growth through experience. I'm wiser now. So somebody definitely involved too many people or gave into some sort of third party. You know, it could also be coming through as Three of Pentacles if it wasn't a full-on like affair. Maybe it was just something that was inappropriate or something that went too far, but not to the point where it was like, you know, it just depends. It's going to be different for you based on your individual situation. But it feels like really the reason why it's coming through is Three of Pentacles, even though the three is definitely there. It feels like something that perhaps did teach somebody a lesson, okay? Because Three of Pentacles is about building after all. But it feels like somebody came in the name of doing something that was positive, but they had ulterior motives. Okay, new message, DM slide. This could have been somebody who was flirting with someone, trying to tempt them, and perhaps this person allowed it to go too far or for too long, but they were just, you know what I'm getting is the image of somebody putting their foot in the pool. Like they didn't dive in, but they just put their big toe in the pool, you know. We're not even doing toes, okay? Keep your foot out the pool. It feels like that. But they were, you know, they dipped a toe in. What was exposed, Divine? What was exposed with this sun energy? Bag secured. Yeah, see, somebody was trying to get the bag. They thought it was going to be payday. Somebody went after somebody with some money here. They went after somebody with some money. And this could be because of a past life, I'm going to say issue. I was hearing past life connection, but in this lifetime, it played out as an issue. Yeah. So there could have been somebody here who, like the third party, felt drawn to somebody and thought that they had dibs on somebody even though they were already in a relationship. They wanted to go after their money and secure their bag through some shady means, right? And then perhaps the person who was being tempted, they allowed themselves to go too far because there were actually karmic ties there that had not been cleared or had not been understood, had not been cleansed, okay? But this all got exposed. This could have been a marriage, okay? Or a community. I'm getting that with the Sun and the Four of Wands. But somebody has been like, I'm done. I'm good. Okay, they're saying go to this one over here. Okay, so what's been playing out with this energy, Divine? What's been playing out? Yeah, there could have been like DM, you know, like just inappropriate, like why are you texting him at midnight? You know, like that kind of thing. Or why is he commenting on your whatever? You know, it's like it was just too much. What else is coming through, Spirit? Ooh, witch hunt. Dragging their feet in committal. So this high priestess, this feels like you. And you picked up on what was going on here. And I'm getting that you called a spade a spade. So you realized that somebody was crossing a boundary, or there wasn't a boundary that needed to be set. It had not been set. Your high priestess energy picked up on that, and you were calling this out. You were like, I'm sensing some bullshit here. It smells like bullshit, looks like bullshit. So somebody did not like your intuition, and they came after you because they're like, you're a little too intuitive for me. It's like your strong intuition, your knowing, your sense of knowing made them uncomfortable. It made them uncomfortable. And there's somebody here who, I feel like this is the third party. Whoever was going after the person who was in a relationship, they were upset and feeling down because somebody was with them but not with them. They were dragging their feet in committal. So maybe they had someone who they were hoping would propose to them, or would be good to them, or would be excited about them, but they were not getting the affirmation that they wanted from this person. So they decided to go after whoever it was that you were with. That's what it feels like is coming through. Okay? It feels like a lot of people involved, so take it how it resonates. But it feels like there's somebody here who called something that was going on. They called it out, right? Because of their high priestess energy, their inner knowing. And then they got labeled as a witch, or they got attacked because of their intuition, because people were upset that they knew what was going on and they weren't going to cover it up or ignore it. But the person who was going after someone who was already in a committed relationship, they did not feel like anyone was committing to them. They wanted the commitment, the level of commitment that they feel like this high priestess energy had. 2222 on the timer. They wanted balance in their life, but they went about it in the completely wrong way. So 180, yeah, completely changed. So whoever left with this 8 of Cups, look, they're like, I'm out. I'm out. They left all of those empty cups there, and they're like, I'm going towards the ocean. Let's go towards Yamaya. Let's get healed. Let's go towards Mother Moon. And I feel like this is definitely this high priestess energy, because this is a perfect, look at how these cards go together. It's like the high priestess is water. The high priestess is that dark inner knowing. And so there were all these cups there that weren't being filled. And so the high priestess decided to go towards their intuition, towards their inner self, their deeper knowing. And also what this shows is that this high priestess was true to themselves. They were not going to play games. They were not going to lie. They were not going to turn their head and pretend like they weren't seeing what they were seeing. I just saw 2 3 3 3 on the timer. So what they were seeing was a whole bunch of 3s where there should have been a 2. And they were like, I'm just not about to do it. Okay? Yeah. Also, this high priestess may have felt like their person was dragging their feet in committal and not doing what they should have been doing. So they were like, I'm out. Peace. You know? This led to a complete change. Because, you know, whoever this high priestess is that left, whether it's you or maybe this person who is kind of numb now, you know what I'm getting? You could have gone through this experience, right? You're the high priestess. You put your foot down. You were like, I'm calling a spade a spade. I'm not going to put up with this bullshit. It's craziness. If you can't commit, then quit. But there's somebody else who could have gone through this as well. There's somebody else who could have gone through this as well, where they had a person who was dragging their feet in committal and was giving way and energy to third parties, and they're like, deuce deuce, I'm out. So that could be what's going on, because there's definitely somebody who has their eyes on you. It could be the person that you decided to be like, If you can't commit, I'm out. Or it could be someone else who went through a similar situation where there were too many people involved in there too. It should have been a 2 and somebody was making it a 3. You see what I'm saying? But either way, there's a whole lot of change that's happening. And I feel like your choice to deuce out and be like, I'm not putting up with this bullshit, it created a very positive change. Because when you stick around and you sign up for nonsense, which sometimes that's what we're doing by not speaking up or by not requiring change or whatever. But the fact that you did stand up for yourself by saying, I'm not going to put up with this, it meant that something had to change. Whether it was simply that you were going away and not going to put up with it, or making it so that a person knew that you were not going to put up with certain things, so they would need to change their behavior. But there's something that completely changed as a result of you being true to your high priestess energy. You went towards the water. You're like, I'm not staying with no dried up nonsense. My relationship is not going to be a desert, boo-boo, okay? That's basically the vibe, where you were like, if this is what you're giving, I don't want it. Good on you. I love that. Okay, what else, Spirit? Easy Street. Oh, okay, it says go easy on them. Okay, so first of all, I'm getting 2 messages here. I'm seeing with Easy Street, there's something about your life that is so beautiful and divine, because you've chosen well for yourself. Whether it's your career, your creative endeavor, your moral choices that you've made, it's like you have made very wise decisions. And there may have been a time in your life where you didn't feel like you did, but you're aligned. So there's something in your life that is going to be very aligned and very simple. I don't like the word easy, but it might feel easy to you. I mean, it says it on the card, so I'm going to take it. But here where it says go easy on them, let's see what's coming through with that. Let's go. Yeah, let's go to the crows. Who is Divine saying to go easy on? We got Temperance at the bottom of the deck. So there could be something that, okay, you know what Divine is bringing through? There may be somebody who's already gotten the lesson. Okay, maybe by you sticking up for yourself, doing whatever it was that you said, I'm not putting up with it, like that was what needed to be said. The message got through. The message got through. 9 of Cups. Yeah, and then whoever it was that you walked away from, or you were like putting your foot down with them, they see that you have the 9 of Cups regardless. They see you winning anyway. They see that you have your wish fulfillment. They see that you are putting yourself first. You're living a good life. And you're not going to be miserable just because they made a miserable choice to entertain some bullshit. You know what I mean? It feels like they definitely know that they were entertaining bullshit. You know, like there's no question about that. With the 9 of Pentacles, same thing. Yeah, they see you living in your abundance. And you know what? That's actually, it's so true. Like when a person takes someone for granted and then maybe they entertain someone or something that they shouldn't. Okay, Delilah, what you doing, girl? She was about to knock over my light. So when a person takes you for granted and they think that that's going to knock over your light or knock you down, right? And you just keep shining, keep doing your thing, keep living in your 9 of Pentacles and your 9 of Cups. You're like, if you don't want to do this life with me the right way, I will do it by myself. And I'll do it so well by myself that I naturally attract whoever is supposed to be with me, if that's what I want to do. And until then, I'm perfectly happy doing it by myself. You see what I'm saying? When that's the vibe, it's so attractive. So, you know, you got to decide for yourself. If this is someone that you're allowing back into your life after there was a moment of indiscretion or whatever happened, if what's coming through is that this person definitely knows that they messed up. Now, if they went beyond your comfort level, as far as like if it was maybe some, what you would consider some flirtation that was forgivable, or whether it was that they left and got completely booed up with the person and made a baby with them. I mean, I don't know. That is going to be different for everybody's situation. But what's definitely coming through is that no matter what, this person knows that they messed up. Okay, so Knight of Cups. They want to make a return. Now, that card said go easy on them, but let's see what Divine is bringing through as far as the guidance for how to move forward with this person. And of course, you use your discretion. You do what you feel is right, but let's see what the guidance is that's coming through. What was that? Well, we got distance at the bottom here. It may be that, you know, you want to go easy on them as far as maybe they've been kind in a certain way and there's just something that you can release there. You know, maybe there's some anger that you can release. So it's not really about being nice to them. It's about being good to yourself and letting go of some of the anger. Or let's see. What's the guidance here, Divine? Anticipation. Resistance. What is this being guided to do? Growth. So you might be resistant to growing with this person. There might be some anxiety. This is the card that like feels like anxiety to me. It's like the people aren't here yet. What's going to happen when they get here? You know, it's like it feels like anxiety. But there's perhaps resistance to growing with this person. Listen, you can do what you want to do. All right. But what Divine is bringing through is that this person has learned a huge lesson. And if this is something that you are open to, you know, if you feel like this person has hurt you in a way that you just don't feel attracted to them, you don't want them, you don't feel that you could even begin to try to trust them again, then that's up to you. But what's coming through for this reading is that, you know, perhaps this reading is for a person who, this lover had to learn a lesson. And there's something that needed to click for them. There's a certain level of maturity that they had to achieve. And what's coming through is that they have achieved it. 3333 on the timer. So whatever lesson it was that they needed to learn about boundaries and about perhaps third parties, it has clicked. They got it. But you have to determine what you want in your life. I see that they do want to come back, but you know, what's coming through is that there may be some resistance to growth, but the growth, the potential for growth is there. It is there. Yeah, because this person has gained a lot of insight. And, you know, I think really the test is if allowing them into your life puts you past a certain comfort level where you would feel miserable or you would feel like you're stepping backwards, then don't do it. But if you feel that you can see a path where you can grow with this person, that's the key. It's always, can you grow with a person? Will they help you to grow? Will you grow together? And if you can, then there's something there. If not, then you need to close that chapter and keep it pushing. I do want to pull a card on this numb situation. That could be the person that wanted to or wants to have another chance with you, but it really felt like it was someone else. Divine, who is this energy that was numb but admiring the collective? Ace of Pentacles. So it's somebody that definitely wants a beginning with you. They see potential with you. Honestly, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It feels like this is a person that's separate from the person that you were with, that you distanced yourself from. This feels like a different energy. Seven of Swords and Four of Pentacles. This feels like, because what I'm getting in my mind's eye is that this person who was numb, who's now admiring you and wants an Ace of Pentacles with you, but is kind of going through their own stuff. It feels like they have suffered their own, in their own situation. With the Seven of Swords, there's somebody who betrayed them, and they're trying to get steady on their path with this Four of Pentacles. They're trying to be stable, but it's hard because they've been through something where someone betrayed them, and I'm hearing stabbed them in the back. I'm also getting that energy of, because the money card came through, this could be someone who tried to attack their finances or just wanted them for their money, for their wealth. What else about this person who was numb? Yeah, with the Page of Wands, they want communication with you. But it just feels like they're going through a lot right now. It feels like they're in a stage where they've been through a lot, they're feeling numb, and it honestly feels like they're wanting to connect with you, but they're still very doubtful of what they're able to do and how they're able to do it, because they're still feeling hurt from that Seven of Swords. Which in that case, I would say, you know, give them time. Yeah, with the Knight of Pentacles, that's what's coming through. Taking the time that they need to get back on their feet, to be steady. This feels like a steady energy, but it just feels like they've been through a lot right now. So maybe they just need to sort of heal themselves. That holistic healing card came through for them. Maybe they need to focus on getting themselves back to a place of strength. You know, also with this being a situation where there were a lot of fake friends and a lot of the same people, you know, you could be in a state now where you're like, I just want to regenerate my energy and not think about any of this. Maybe you just want to purify your energy. I feel like Divine is just kind of giving you a look at the energies around you and where they stand. It feels like whoever this was who entertained a third party energy, it feels like there was something that they desperately needed to understand. Yeah, because they were in a state of conflict with the Five of Wands. They definitely needed to understand the truth about the conflict that their actions was causing. Okay. So they've come into a state of truth with the Ace of Swords. They see the truth now of what they were creating with that Five of Wands. They were creating conflict. And this could be why, you know? What was it about them? Let's take a look at the shadow deck and see what it was. Oh, look, we've got jealous. So this person may have had some feelings of insecurity, you know, that they needed to resolve. What other things needed to be resolved within this person, or what has been resolved within this person that this beautiful being walked away from? Suck up. Sucking up was their way of creating a positive impression, establishing connections, or securing opportunities. Yeah, they were like being too nice. They were being too nice. What other shadows have they healed or become aware of, Divine? Okay, domineering and sensitive. So they were easily offended by things. Maybe they were too sensitive with energies that came towards them. They were like, that goes along with suck up in my mind, you know. It's like they were just being too sensitive, too sweet, too nice, too trusting. But perhaps with you, they were being domineering, wanting to control. There's something about the relationship that they wanted to control. And so that's why they were seeing those interactions with other people as a means of gaining control that they felt that they didn't have within the dynamic between you. But this is coming through as things that they're now aware of and that they have started working on. So, yeah. You know, the thing about it is that love requires growth, and we grow when we go through problems. Like, that's how we grow. But it's very popular to just say, oh, I'm done. You know, I'm done. And it's okay if that's what you want to do, but you have to decide that for yourself. But what's coming through here is that with this energy that you walked away from, there is, you know, maybe what you needed was to take a rest, and maybe that person needed to take a rest and just hear what Spirit was saying to both of you, you know? What's the guidance regarding this being that they walked away from, Divine? Passions. It came out on the fence. So it says, don't be afraid to fail. Follow what makes your heart happy. But you have to decide what makes your heart happy, you know? And this is the number one thing. You have to look at the person's actions. How are they interacting with you? What are they willing to, how are they willing to show up? What are they willing to do as far as their commitments that they've made to you from here on out? You know? Expansion. Pursue bigger and greater endeavors. So she's climbing that wall. It does go along with growth. You know, these two go together. So if this is your reading, what Divine is saying is that no, this has not been the perfect connection. There is no perfect connection. But there is room for growth here, as long as you can both commit to that and you see the signs that align with what you've agreed on. You know what I mean? As far as this other energy that is admiring you, it feels like they're going through a lot, and it feels like, honestly, it feels like you're their ultimate fantasy. And I think that this reading is coming through to kind of confirm for you that you might be picking up on this energy of this person kind of over there, because they do think about you. They are wishing that they could have something with you, but it's like there's a scripture, I think it says, faith without works is dead. So if a person is sitting there wanting you, daydreaming about you and dreaming at night about you, I mean, that's great, but it's, what does it amount to? It's a fantasy. So if this person is not willing to do the holistic healing that they need to on themselves, so that they're not in that state of numbness anymore, and they're not putting forth actual effort to reach out to you or to make something known as far as their communication and their desires, 4444 on the timer, then it is what it is. and it's not what it's not. You know what I mean? But it feels like, if this is your reading, if you want to move forward with this other being, it does feel like, because what's coming through in this message is that this person did not do something that was hideous or heinous. They did something that was annoying, and it was not aligned with how they should be carrying themselves in a committed relationship, but they had to learn that. And as long as they show the effort and the continued and consistent intentions and effort, where they are backing up what they said they would do, if they have told you that they are going to move forward, making better choices, then, you know, it feels like as long as this person is aligned and their actions are aligned with truth, that divine is saying that there is room for growth there. But you have to use your discernment and base your judgment on what you have gone through, and also your intuition, okay? All right, let's see what's ahead for you, beautiful being. Let's see what lies ahead for you. This one's turned over. Okay, let's go ahead and see what's coming through. What lies ahead for this beautiful being, divine? Joy. I said to that. And that's something that I see no matter what, because even when you walked away from a situation, you had to get your mind right and just be like, look, I choose me. You had joy then. You still had the 9 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups. Like, this is you. It doesn't matter. And honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. 46 on the timer. That's a 10-10, by the way. Joy is your path. And it doesn't matter who you're booed up with, or if you're single. It doesn't matter if you're ready to mingle, or you're like, don't touch me, don't talk to me, I'm not doing it, I'm not having it. It doesn't matter. You are always going to be aligned with joy, because you're on the path of a divine being. And so I love when divine brings these messages through, like, because sometimes we do think about these things, we wonder about these things and these connections and everything. And some people will act like, oh, I'm so focused on spirituality, I don't care about union. But union can be when it's right, it can be a very positive and huge source of growth in our lives. So to just be like, you know, F love and blah, blah, blah. I mean, how can you say F love? Love is the highest frequency there is. But when it's divine, it's the highest frequency. When it's based on attachments and toxicity, it can be the worst thing. But we have to remember that that is not love. That's attachments and toxicity. So no matter what you're going through, as far as whether you're partnered or you're single, this is your path right here. Okay? And that's the most important thing, beautiful being, is that your path is full of joy. This one is like determined to come out. Look, intuition, and that's what you have been following, is your intuition. As the High Priestess, you came through as the High Priestess. You're always going towards that water because it's inside of you, and it's how you connect to Source. It will never lead you astray. So keep listening to it. Ashe, thank you, Spirit, for these messages, and thank you, beautiful being, so much for taking the time to tune in. I hope that these messages brought you some clarity, some good vibes, some peace, some insight, something positive. And I love you, and I wish you peace. I wish you joy and so many blessings. Take care.